Hey, jerks. You got an unexpected friend here tonight, Charlie. He wanted to come up. He jumped right on my lap right as I'm starting the show. And he's all over the place. He was making some noises too, growling. But now he's good. Sorry for the distraction. But you can read, hopefully, the disclaimer here tonight. Let's make myself small, myself and Charlie. Tonight's show is not investment advice. I'm not giving any investment advice. What I'm doing is talking about stocks that I'm buying right now. And, basically why I'm buying them, what I'm buying. And if you choose to act on that, that's good for you, I think, hopefully. And kind of my rationale and more education discussion, almost like a stock buying club. It's the first time we're ever doing this on the show. Something I've always wanted to do. I love stocks. It's like I'm going to let Charlie go. It's like my hobby, my pastime, besides dogs in the show. I just love following stocks. For people that want to know my background in investing, I've invested in stocks 25 plus years. Former stockbroker, licensed Series 7 with Fidelity Investments, American Express, Pioneer Investments, and then with AIG, I got the FINRA IAR, Investment Advisor, Registered Rep, license as well. I'm no longer licensed. I got out of that industry a long time ago, but I've continued, obviously, to buy stocks. And I think this is a good time to talk about stocks, beginning of the year. It's something I really love to do. I love to educate my customers. It's something I miss. And to have a platform like this, it's like, hey, well, why not do some of that expertise and some of that knowledge and some of that information, education to the public, just like I used to do. Just do it for free now. And specifically because I'm hugely invested. Like I just love this stuff. I love talking about it. And again, this is not investment advice tonight. And basically what you're going to see from me too tonight, there's a difference between total speculation where you're going after a very small company thinking it's going to go huge, or like an altcoin, in crypto, where the odds of losing are huge, but the chance you win, you make a lot of money if you win. That's not what we're talking about tonight. That's not what I'm talking about. If you choose to do that, good for you. Take the chance, especially when you're young. But you should also learn, too, from your losses, which any investor, especially if you have bought in a lot of stocks like I have, you're going to end up having some losses. And that's what tonight we're focusing on, stocks that don't have that risk. And the biggest risk in investing in stocks is that your company goes to zero, that your crypto, your coin goes to zero, that you lose everything in the investment, that you held on too long as you watched it go down, hoping it would come back, and it never came back. And that's happened to me before. And even on things that I didn't even think that were that speculative. So it can always happen in any investment. But tonight I'm going to focus on basically my top, what I call the bread and butter, the meat and potatoes, the ones, if you're a beginning investor, that you should kind of stick to. These types of stocks, the best of breed, the companies that aren't going to go out of business. You could lose a little money. The stock price obviously could go down, but there's no risk of the company going out of business and you losing everything. Those are the types of stocks we're focusing on tonight. I'm focusing on, and I have my list of what I'm buying right now. Let me bring up my chat right now. Does anyone watch it tonight? Not too many. I didn't expect it because this is something new. This is something different from Karen Reed. I will say about the Karen Reed stuff too, it's going to be a lot more coverage coming up, obviously. Tuesday morning, she's back in court. Dr. Russell is going to be there on the stand again. So that's going to be interesting. We'll definitely be live broadcasting that. There's also a select board meeting on Tuesday night in Canton. I'll be streaming that as well. Tomorrow night, I'll be on Brian, LTL with Mazza Media. We'll be talking about all the Karen Reed stuff in the Mass State Police scandals over the last few years. So there's a lot more to come there. definitely going to continue to cover it. But tonight, I just want to have a little fun with stocks. Number one, I'll say too, like someone said about the pearls, I'm definitely clutching my pearls tonight because I'm doing a stock show. And I also have this from Auntie Deb. It's green. It's my green Irish color. It's the sidebar. I got this from Auntie Deb. Auntie Deb mailed it to me today. Now I have Auntie Deb's address. I'm going to mail Auntie Deb some Young Jerk stickers, definitely. So I'm wearing that tonight. Charlie is now ripping up everything. We got a lot of boxes in here because we had a flood and we had to move everything and push everything back. And now Charlie is going town. Oh, man. Charlie, go in your house. Go in your house. There you go. So let's get to the stocks. This is what it's about tonight. I'm going to drop my number. I have a whole list of stocks. I don't know how quickly. I don't expect this to be a long show, but this is something I want to periodically do to help people invest wisely and make money. And I think in this market, number one thing you need to do is make more than 5 or 10, 15% a year, because 15% a year is inflation basically at this point, if not more. So if you're investing in stocks, you really want to make 30, 40, 50, 60% a year. And those gains can come, not always, but the best way to get those kind of gains is individual stocks, and buy them when they're down and buy the best, especially right now. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Is even on the shorter term, the longer you can hold any stock, the better it is. My portfolio has gone up crazy, and it's because I've held it for over 10 years now, and I just keep adding to it every single day. And the big thing is, at certain times when the market crashes, you buy like crazy on those days. And that's what I'm going to suggest you do with the stocks that I'm going to bring up tonight. And if you have any questions, you can ask questions. If you want to know about your portfolio or stocks you own, you can ask me all kinds of questions like that too as well tonight. But I'm going to get to this list first, because this is it right here. My top 5. You're going to see these top 5. These are the ones I am hammering right now. It doesn't mean I own the most of them. Meta, I actually do. It's one of my top 2 holdings actually right now across all my accounts. But it's also like the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The top 5 I am investing in right now at this moment. And that number 1 is Meta. And I think Meta, they own Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. The market cap is, you kind of cringe at it because it's so large, $1.52 trillion. But the PE is only 28. And this is a mega growth stock. That's what this is. It's never going to go out of business. It's going to be here forever. It's going to continue to grow, especially right now with AI, with everything that's happening. They have so much cash on hand. It's ridiculous. And they make so much profits. The biggest drag on the company was research and development, which they could cut if they really needed to. So this company, it's a no-brainer. They have a dividend as well. I don't care what it's at. It's at 500 right now. 5 and change. It keeps going up a little bit more. I would just continue to buy this thing. I think it's going to go to 1,000. I think it's going to split eventually. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, there are companies out there, and a lot of people will be a little skeptical because this just went up so much, which I had that ride up. I'm still holding it. I'm still buying it. And the reason is the value is still there. PE is only 28, mega growth stock, best of breed. They've gotten better over the last 3 or 4 years, unbelievably better business-wise. Got to buy it. Got to buy it. Like, and this is what I want to bring to the table tonight. It's like these obvious stocks are the ones to buy. It's not, you're not going to get rich picking some unknown needle in the haystack that no one knows about. You're probably going to lose your money on those. These stocks will make you money. So Meta, number 1. Number 2 is this. This is where it gets riskier, and this is because it's already had such a huge run up. NVIDIA. This is a chip stock. I think people know about, if you follow investing, it's probably the most exciting stock right now over the last couple of years. They have this new Blackwell chip that's coming out. They have the AI CUDA platform. This company, 3.5 trillion. It's tough to say it's a good deal. It's PE is 54. If people don't know, PE is price to earnings. It's basically the higher the number, the more expensive that stock is. And there's a bunch of different ways to come at that, whether you do it, adjusted earnings or earnings today or future earnings. These are all from Robinhood. I think they just do, earnings today. And this price to earnings is 54, which is very high. So it means it's expensive for how much profit it's making right now, but it takes in a ton of profit. It's growing immensely. I think it's going to go. I mean, that's the thing on this one. Short term, there could be some risk. It just went up again. It's going up again against all-time highs. Again, it's been up and down for like 3 months, which you want. That's exactly what you want, actually. And I wouldn't doubt if this goes back down. And that's when you buy it. When it goes back down, buy as much as you can and hold this. Hold it for a while. So that's my number 2 stock. These are the top 2 stocks I'm buying right now, Meta and NVIDIA. Number 3, Micron Technology. This thing is undervalued. It's about $100 billion. This is NVIDIA sells, they sell to these servers, these big cloud servers. And Micron Technology, sells the memory chips. So they go kind of hand in hand. Micron is definitely undervalued. It just went down because they adjusted their earnings. They said they weren't going to bring in as much on the near term. But this is also like a recovery play because they're not doing as well because of automobiles and some of the other sectors. But those will come around in the next year or so. And when that happens, I already think Micron, just the growth, the amount of growth this company has right now, it's year over year. This is an easy buy. Anything, I would buy Micron anytime it's under $100 a share right now. So I've been buying this thing for years, actually. I think I started buying it when it was at like 50. I think my average price is like, mid 50s, but I've never stopped buying it. Like I just buy it every single day, a little bit every day. So that's the idea here is you just start on all these stocks. I would just nibble a little, take a little bit every day. And if you can, like I do in Robinhood and some of the other apps, I just buy like one. If I don't have any money that week, I'll buy $1. Robinhood allows you to buy up to $1 of any shares, basically. I also use Public. It's $5. You have to have $5 per purchase, but still, that's low money. You could buy that, maybe once a week, once a day. I just have it set up, and I'll adjust it depending on how much money I have in the bank, savings, and also, how these stocks are doing. If they go down more, I adjust it and I throw more money in that week. So Micron Technology, I'd definitely be buying this. Stock symbol is MU. That's my number 3. My top 4 or 5, these are the ones I'm buying all the time right now. Google. This is a funny one, too, because I've been buying it for a while, then I stopped. I got worried about search, but I am not worried about search. I think YouTube, they make a lot of money there, and that's going to continue to grow, and I'm not worried about search. I think Google with AI, it's got a PE of 25. This is just like Meta. They're undervalued, huge growth stocks that they're gonna boom. Even though it's $2.35 trillion, the market cap. Google and Meta, if you're worried about like safety, but you still want to get the high returns, Google and Meta. And Google has 2 different ticker symbols. It's GOOGL or GOOG. It's basically the same thing. One's a Class A share, one's a Class C. It doesn't really matter. You're not voting. So buy either one, whichever you want, or both. I buy them both, actually. So Google, it's the same company. I would just buy them. Alphabet is the company. Market cap, $2.35 trillion. Buy Google. It's a no-brainer. They have so much cash, too. So this is the thing about this market. It's like the obvious ones that are the ones to buy. It's in rocket science. And especially if you see them go down like they did last week. I bought like crazy on all these stocks. And here's one that's gone down that you just have to buy, AMD. This is another chip one. They have about the 10th of the amount of revenue as NVIDIA in the server, the big server market that everyone's going after. But it's growing. It's growing more than NVIDIA, actually. They have a market cap of $200 billion, and the PE is 107, which is high, but the forward earnings, it's not as bad. It's actually, I think AMD to me is a cheaper play than NVIDIA. So I like them both. I think it's undervalued. Got whacked earlier this year. It could go down more. And if it does, buy it. Buy these top five. Just buy them. That's set it and forget it on those top five. I mean, this is what it's about. You buy the best. And we know who the best are. This is the one. Okay, this could be a little dicier. This is a wild card. Like when I say I don't get that risky, Snapchat could actually go out of business. It's one of those companies that could go out of business. It's not gonna. It's it's worth $19 billion, but it's not profitable. And it's kind of stagnated for years, but it's kind of made a comeback recently. And I think two things that Meta and Snapchat are going to have going for them going into this year is it looks like TikTok's getting shut down in America. And America is the most profitable place for these social media companies. It's where they make the most sales per user. So that's only going to help Meta, but especially Snapchat. Snapchat, which has been down, it hasn't had the run up. It's starting to move again. You're starting to see it like go up to like, I think $12. It was at like 10, 11 for a while. I stopped buying it for a while, but I'm buying it again. I think this is something that we should definitely keep an eye on. It's more risky, definitely more risky. It's not like a Meta or a Google, a slam dunk. You could lose a lot more money on this, but you could also gain a lot more. And that's why I'm buying it. It's only worth $19 billion. Snapchat's only, think about that. Facebook is worth trillions, and this thing's only worth $19 billion. It's not even worth it's not even close. It's like 1/50th. So this thing can go up a lot more. I like Snapchat. I'm buying it. It's cheap stock. That's my first really, I'll say, risky stock tonight. Number 7. Here's another one that's kind of risky because it's gone up so much, but I don't think so. And the reason I don't think so is because look at the earnings. This thing is growing so crazy, so high. This is like one of the only banking ones you'll see me have here. And it's a lot of it's going to, they're already having rapid growth. The rapid growth's been going through the roof. And now they got the student loans, the wind in their sails. There was going to be a lot of forgiveness and all this stuff going on. Now you got Trump in office. None of that's happening now. So I think SoFi, it's got a market cap of $15 billion. PE is 119. It's high. It's been going up. It went down a little bit. I bought a bunch of it. It just came back up again. I would keep buying it. I like SoFi. It's a little bit risky because it has gone up so much in the PE, but the reason why sometimes PEs are so high is because the growth is so high, and people know that's going to continue, especially with a company like SoFi. This is another one like Snap, I would say, that's a little more risky. It's smaller cap, but I think it's definitely one to buy. Buy tons of SoFi. It is cheap. You can buy a bunch of shares easily. All right, my number 8. This is one that's been driving me crazy for years because I've bought it and sold it and bought it and sold it, maybe even at the wrong times at times, because I was worried about the regulation and what the Biden administration was going to do about crypto there. But now that Trump's in office, I say buy Coinbase. This is if you like crypto, if you like Bitcoin, if you like any of them, this is another way. This is basically like a way that you probably make even more than the crypto you might buy. If those go up, this is going up. It's Coinbase. It's like the number 1 broker of crypto, Coinbase crypto broker. Market cap is $67 billion. PE is 44. I'm buying it again. I stopped buying it for a while, but once I knew Trump was in, I started buying that baby up, and it's had a little bit of a run up and then come back down. So good time to buy. I would just continue to buy Coinbase definitely and hold it. Hold it. It will grow. And they got a lot of cash. And this is one that Microsoft, number 9 on my list. This is funny, number 9 on my list because Microsoft, I have some shares. I bought some shares a while back. I made good money on them, but I stopped buying it. I felt like it was getting too expensive. But it's got some things going for it now, especially with its cloud business and some of the other things going on with AI and agents. And I think it's, and if you can compare it to like Amazon, it's actually a better deal. The PE is only 34. I mean, how much more can it go up? Can it get to 10 trillion? Probably. That's why I'm still buying Microsoft. MSFT. This is another safe one. It's got a dividend. Just set it and forget it. I like Microsoft. Here's one that's another smaller one somewhat. It's funny how we say smaller, 75 billion, but in this world of mega caps now, back when I was a financial advisor, 75 would probably be close to a mid cap. Now it's still like it's like a small cap. This is Synapsys. They do all sorts of things and with chips, and you just buy this company. This company is a good company, like a chips and what am I saying? Picks and shovels. If you like what I do, if you like microchips and silicon, this is a company buy. Market cap 75 billion. PE is 33. It's a little bit expensive, but not really. It's kind of in the sweet spot. And this thing is growing like crazy. So SNPS, Synopsys, buy. I'm buying a lot of that right now. Here's another one that I've had a holding in for a while. I stopped buying it for a long time, and I'm starting to buy it again. And it's Salesforce, CRM. And the reason why I stopped buying it is because it's expensive. 316 billion. It's like they gobbled up another company. They got kind of got to prove it, and their profits kind of plateauing, but and they're not growing quite as much as they should be, especially with a PE of 54. But now they have this agent thing, and it makes perfect sense with the business. Salesforce is a company that basically offers a software for sales companies. So if you're selling Volkswagens in a showroom, your agents probably are using Salesforce to keep track of their customers and call them back and send emails and all that stuff. Any type of sales organization, Salesforce is often used as a software platform that people store all the data for the customers. And they now have agents and things like that where they can directly email and contact automatically. And that's definitely going to improve their customer base. It's already improving it. So I like Salesforce. I would buy CRM right now. It's another one. And like I said, all these stocks I'm buying, there are much more stocks I buy actually, but these are like the bread and butter. These are the ones that I'm buying the most of right now, like every single day. All right, let's go to the next one. Qualcomm. Again, this is another company that I've been buying for a long time, but I kind of stopped buying and I'm buying it again. And it's a $174 billion company. It's pretty big. The reason I kind of stopped is because Apple, they've had issues with Apple. They're like Apple's biggest iPhone supplier, and that's going away. So it's like, will they have the revenue? Will I could kind of see the writing on the wall. But they got so many other things going with Snapdragon. And I just think that this company, especially with a PE of 17, and they're involved in, autos and all that stuff. They have so much. They have such a breadth of business, and a lot of it is growing like gangbusters. So with a PE of 17, this is like another one of those. You can't miss. You just invest in Qualcomm. It's got a dividend, a good dividend, and just reinvest that. Just keep buying it every day. With a PE of 17, this is what I like. I like mega growth stocks right now that have low PEs, like Qualcomm. I mean, it's just like a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you buy this? And again, PE of 17 means it's cheap. And you get a dividend. Is another one that's pretty cheap too. NTAP. They do data storage, analytics. They sell hardware. This is a good company. $23 billion right now. The PE is 21. They got a huge dividend. I have a lot of this. I've had it for a while. I've started buying it again. I like this company, NTAP. It's another one. Cheap company with great growth prospects. It's like a no-brainer stock to buy right now. And it's been down. It's like, it's up for me because I've had it for a while, but it's had some peaks and valleys. So a lot of these stocks, I would just be looking for, if you see a day where it's down 5, 6, 7%, like we had some volatility, buy it that day. And here's another one. This one I've been buying the whole time. And again, I'm buying a lot more right now. Applied Materials is also another dividend play. It also is, does a lot with the microchips. It basically is another infrastructure play. It's not that expensive. PE of 19, the market cap 138 billion. Applied Materials, AMAT, no-brainer stock to buy right now. No-brainer. All right, I'm gonna take a look at my super chats. I see some super chats come in. I haven't even looked. I'm just barreling through this tonight. All right. Sherry D says she's digging the surfer look. Yeah, I got this. I'm clutching my pearls tonight, and I got my Auntie Deb shirt on. Oh, I want to thank Sarah for gifting 10 Young Jerks memberships tonight. Oh, we got the Skip Trace. I know he's a stock investor. He says, great video. I'm still sad over Tesla. Do you think they'll have a quick comeback? That's funny because that's one stock that's not on my list tonight. And it's funny because I've bought and sold Tesla a bunch of times. I really have. And I have a feeling it will probably do good under a Trump administration, but I don't like the stock. I don't trust it. I just don't trust. And it's probably a big mistake of mine. It'll probably turn out great for them, but it's not on my list. I think there are so many other less risky stocks. Let's put it that way. But I don't fault people who own Tesla. I've owned it in the past as well. I just think there's a lot of risk there, and I don't know what the upside seems like. It's kind of priced in already. You know what I mean? So it has to overperform. But it's gone up and down a lot. So I mean, that's the thing. If you buy Tesla when it goes down and then you sell it when it goes up, that's actually great, right? I mean, that's the name of the game. I did that a couple of times. I don't own any right now. I'm not planning on buying any. Amazon. This is another one. This thing's expensive. I don't think it's as safe, but it's still growing, especially their web services. Growing, Amazon Web Services, huge growth, 2.3 trillion, PE of 47. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't even have put this one on the list, honestly. It's definitely at the bottom of the list out of all these other stocks. But it's still nothing wrong with owning Amazon. I own it. I still buy a little bit of it. So it's on the list. Amazon is on the list tonight. All right, this is where it starts to get the last, basically I had a top 15 stocks tonight. You just saw Amazon made the 15. I decided to add a couple more. There's more actually that I was thinking about adding on. But these are like bonuses, and they're kind of like the more risky assets, the more that you got to be really careful with. But maybe not. And especially this first one, maybe not that risky actually, considering, altcoins and things like that. I still consider Bitcoin and those things risky, but I mean, you see what they do. They keep going up. They go up and down, up and down, up and down until they hit new highs, $100,000. This is a Bitcoin ETF that I buy a lot, IBIT. There's a bunch of them you can buy. Bitcoin market cap right now is $1.86 trillion. I buy Bitcoin. I know other people like, Ethernet and all those other Ethereum and all those other altcoins too. Doge. I got a couple Doge, but not really. But I think you just buy Bitcoin. I think that's, if you're going to buy any crypto, why buy anything else? Because that's the number one. The rug's not going to be pulled. The returns are great. If you're going to put it in risky, why not look at Bitcoin? That's what I buy. IBIT. I like this too. Again, this is my disclaimer tonight. Nothing that you are hearing tonight is financial advice. Please consult your financial planner with questions specific of your needs. Thank you all for being here. And not only that, I was a financial advisor. The best customers and the best thing for everyone is, beyond just consulting with your financial advisor, become an expert yourself. That's the thing. I'm at a point where mostly I don't need an advisor. There are certain things I might ask them about, but for the most part, I am my own advisor. And that's the point of this tonight, is to kind of open up the conversation, steer you in the right direction. And then you got to do the research. If the idea of this is I'm going over some great companies. I'm not expecting everyone to invest in every company. I'm not selling anything. I'm not telling you what to do. But if you like some of them, start with 4 or 5 of them. And if you're a first-time investor, or if you're a long-time investor, like I am, you watch these shows and you kind of hear what people are saying and why, and take it for what it is. So again, this is another thing I'm investing in, Bitcoin ETF. I also have a little bit of crypto. The thing about crypto I don't like, honestly, I got to tell you, is if crypto succeeds, everyone else is hurt. Everyone else that has money in bank accounts, And that's kind of the problem here with crypto and the financial system is if interest rates stay low and the money supply is good and the prices continue to go up, the price of Bitcoin is going to go through the roof. And that's why I'm buying Bitcoin. It's a hedge. So it is what it is. It's almost like betting on misery. That's why I think I hesitate on it. It's like you feel a little guilty. And just like this company here, this is another one I feel a little guilty. And each of us, we all have our decisions to make on what we invest in. Sometimes the guilt will get to me. Like I've chosen, not to invest in alcohol companies or tobacco companies. I try to stay away from the defense companies. It makes me feel bad. Here, this is one of them, Palantir. I do invest in a little bit. However, this is a guy. One of the best journalists I like to follow is a guy named Barrett Brown, and he's exposed a lot of shady stuff with this company and the owner Peter Thiel. So I probably would have invested a lot more if I didn't feel so bad about it every time I throw $1 at it. But I'm adding it to the list because it's up to you. It's not up to me. And I do have a little money, and sometimes I do add to it. But this is a company that you got to be really careful of at the same time because the PE is out of control now. And the reason why is the growth has been so enormous. So I had to add it to the list. It's 181 billion. I can remember when it was like 25, 50 billion just recently. So it's like it's grown enormously. Some people think it's going to be $1 trillion company with the AI it has. A lot of the money comes from the military, the U.S. government, all the Western militaries, the CIA, for instance. But they also do business with private business as well. So this one, I'd be real. If you're going to invest, be very cautious. Just take a nibble and see if it goes down first. That's always a key. If this thing drops, that may be a time to buy. It showed a little weakness. I think it came back recently. So I just be careful on that too. Look at some comments. Jake says, I know Jake. Jake's a good guy. He's got a show too, cannabis show. He's a grower. He's helped me with grow tips. I like Jake. Jake says, I'm big on the crypto. They've done me well. Bitcoin, Dogecoin, XRP, XLM are some of my promising ones. Excellent. Yeah, I think, that's the thing too. You gotta invest with what you're comfortable with, what you know. Like for me, I don't really mess with Bitcoin, with crypto really beyond Bitcoin. I have in the past, and it just didn't work out very well for me. And it's just one of the things I felt like I didn't know enough. Where with stocks, I know these stocks. So I think you just gotta, whatever you're invested in, you gotta be comfortable with it. You gotta, feel confident in it. And I think that's the big thing for everyone is and start small. You don't have to do like every stock out there. Pick a few favorites, work with them, and learn from your wins and your losses on them. Oh, I want to know if this is the real William Phelps. It's M. William Phelps. Because I saw him posted on other ones. He's like, I'm disappointed in you, Mike. Does he know me? Why didn't you call me William? I thought M. William Phelps. I gotta go put my leather jacket. I am actually hardcore William. I booked a lot of bands. I am the hardcore guy that you pretend to be in the woods. But I thought you were going to call me. I heard back in the day you were going to call me about the Canton Select Board and all the audio and video footage I had. Yeah, I think it's a troll too. I've been seeing that though. It's funny because people think it's really him. I don't know. Well, you know what? It's funny too because I want everyone to make money off of the information I'm giving tonight, except for the trolls. I hope the trolls don't listen to anything I have to say tonight. I hope they put it all on some biotech company that's worth $100 million that has a possible solution for cancer 15 years from now. You know how that's going to turn out. All right, I'm reading the comments. Any more comments coming in? All right, let's let me ask you guys, do you have any and ladies, do you have any comments on anything you've invested in or you're thinking about investing in or anything that I presented tonight? Yeah, that's exactly it. Robinhood doesn't take EBT. No, you have to set up a bank account. Robinhood is great. You know, the thing about investing now, it's so awesome because when I started back in the day, you had to buy whole shares. So if you wanted to buy, let's say, Service Now, it's over $1,000 a share. You'd have to have $1,000 to buy any of that company. And then you'd want to buy several shares to make it worthwhile because you're also paying a brokerage fee for the trade. So you'd want trades to be like at least $5,000, $10,000. And it'd be hard. I mean, if you're just starting out, how are you going to get $5,000, $10,000 when you only have 50 or 10 or one? So with Robinhood, you only need $1. You could start with a friggin' dollar. That's amazing. If you could skip your cup of coffee every day, you can afford to invest. And that's what I love about Robinhood. Even when I'm tight, even when I don't have a little money, I'm still putting a little in. I'm still buying something. And once you start buying stocks, it just becomes a lifestyle. You'll want to save more. You'll want to follow it. You'll want to know what you're investing. You'll be looking at the earnings. So that's why I say start small too. Like you don't want, with me, sometimes my problem is I have too many holdings. And that's why I'm focusing on these companies that have, like, honestly, the best companies for me have been Apple, Meta, what else? Google. Like those big companies, all the little shitty ones that I invested in that were risky, mostly shit the bed. The big companies that I invested in quite a bit, they went through the roof. So for a lot of times in my investment history, you would think, especially with what I know, you always think that what happened last year isn't going to happen this coming year. But this year sure feels like it. It sure feels like we're about to, especially with Trump coming into office, because Trump, the Fed is downplaying how many interest rate cuts they're going to have this year. And that's why the market took a little hit and then it started to come back again. I think they're going to do way more interest rates than they say. And it's because they know they need to. And but true, Trump's going to be crying if you don't get that. Trump is all about the easy money. Trump knows low interest rates mean big stock market. So I think we're going to have a good year. I do. Should we buy Apple? That's a good question. I don't think so. Funny because I've been, I bought Apple, especially a lot of it, like probably 6-7 years ago. I made a killing on it, and I always did dividend reinvested in it and would buy a little more along the way. And then this last year was the first time I ever sold it. I just sold a little so I could buy more NVIDIA, so I could buy more Google, so I could buy more Meta. And then it went up more. But, I don't think it's the best time to buy it, but it's not terrible. Again, that company could be on the list because, it's a little bit expensive, Apple, but look what you're getting. They have a platform. Their business might be a little, cyclical, ups and downs because, how many iPhones are sold. But I think they're going into another expansion. I think that they're going to sell a lot more iPhones now too. So it probably is a good investment. I just have so much of it. Like it's become such a big holding of mine. I just don't buy anymore, especially now that's gone back up and I sold a little. So that's just me. If I was starting, I probably would buy a little bit if I didn't have any of it. But I already have a lot. It's like my number one holding. It went up so much. So that's how I feel about Apple. Not a bad company. Like no, actually, like the best company. Like to invest in, probably the best company. It's just whether the price is too high right now, and it's probably not. It's just that I have so much of it. Why add more to it? Especially when I think Meta, the company, like I said, Meta. I have a lot of that too, but I feel like Meta is still so undervalued. See, I like medical shares. Denise says. I invested in a lot of medical companies. A lot of them shit the bed. I just got to say, and it depends what type you're talking about. The prescription, like the Vardis and those companies do well. But if you're talking about like the next cure for cancer type, speculative or biotech, those things, a lot of them have gotten hammered, and that's why I tend to stay away from them. But if you know them, and obviously there are some great ones, like Merck and those types of companies. I think it's the same thing with what I'm doing here. Is mostly what I showed is the tech companies. But if Tech companies, there's thousands of them. I picked the best ones, the best of breed. Palantir, Meta, the ones that are leading the pack almost like in a monopoly. And if you're doing medical companies, I think you got to do the same, the best of the breed. Who are the top companies? They'll do well. Medical devices. Which I would like to know, which is the top. Are you doing something that's speculative that really doesn't have profits now? Or is it like one of the top medical device companies? I'm not sure who they are. I know there's that eye surgical company there. I've got a little bit of money in that one. I think that's done pretty well. Teresa says, I just let Fidelity handle everything. I have no complaints. That is always an option as well. Not for me. It's funny, when I started at Fidelity, they didn't have those people to handle everything. I was actually on the phone team at Fidelity at the time when we unrolled that, and we would answer the phone to hook, to basically welcome them to the program. And I wasn't actually one of those people that would do that. I was just answering the phones, that part of the team back then. I was an equity trader, but I didn't have the ability to give financial advice back then. Later on, I did. But there's different levels. And it's funny because Fidelity for so long, especially when I worked there, was the no advice company. We're the cheapest, fastest, quickest, best, but we give no advice. Unlike, the high end, which was like Merrill Lynch back then and JP Morgan, those types of places where they give you the full financial plan. Things have changed. Fidelity definitely does give advice for a fee now, like everybody does. Except for me, there's no fee here. You're not paying me anything. All right. Anything else you want to know about your investments now, or any comments you want to make? You want me to check out this company? Freeziness. I'll check it out. I'm going to check it out right now. I should do it on my phone. Easier. See, this is the I've never heard of this company, which is not a good sign, I'm guessing. But I'm going to check it out. I'm going to give you the speed round opinion off of almost no knowledge. Not even coming up. It's a healthcare company, multinational healthcare company based in Hamburg. What's the stock symbol? Hold on. Oh, there it is. FSNUY. It's $8.66. $19 billion euro market cap. Looks like a pretty big company, actually. I mean, not big, but like I said, it'd still be considered small cap, but it's not a micro. It's an established company. Could be a good stock. It looks like it's got some good things going for it, actually. I'll take a more look at that. It's got a dividend. What do they do? I mean, it says medical care. Let me just read a little more about it. This looks pretty good, actually. Looks like their margin's going up. Looking at it, doesn't look bad. I'm going to look more into it. I want to know, what does it do? Like, what kind of medical care does it give? Oh, they do dialysis. Okay. That's recurring. That would be good. It looks like a decent company. I don't know enough about it, but it looks okay. Someone said huge company worldwide. You were a manager at Schwab. Yeah, they were our direct competition at Fidelity, Schwab. Those Schwab guys. What's Schwab doing? We used to be in direct competition, Fidelity and Schwab. That's so funny. East Coast, West Coast. Someone said, when do you decide to buy? Well, that's the tough one. The tougher one is, when do you decide to sell? Whether it's a huge profit or your company's shitting the bed. Sometimes, like when the company's shitting the bed, it's the worst thing to do to sell. Because if that company comes roaring back, whether it's 1 year, 2 year, 5 years, you're going to be so mad. But if the company's going out of business, it's a good idea to get out of Dodge with, as much money as you can before it goes out of business. So that's really some of the toughest issues is like, when do you know when to sell? When do you know when to buy? For me, I just follow the stocks. If I like a stock and I see that it's having a down day, if you see a stock down 3, 5, 7%, that's a good time to buy. Because the next day or two, it's probably going to come back 5, 6, 7, percent. Sometimes it will come back even more. So if you see a stock go down and you like it, these things always go up and down. So just look for when it's down. And for me, for most of the stocks that I like that I've been showing here, not Palantir so much, but let's go back to AMD right now. AMD is the time to buy. Like that's AMD, you buy it now because it's down. Where's my AMD? Hold on. And Micron, that's another one. AMD is down right now. Time to buy is now. That's the thing. If you've seen it, if you see it's a great company, growing earnings, and people are being a little harsh on it, that's when you buy. And you can look at the charts. You can see how it's done over the last 6 months, year, 3 months, even the last week. And for me, that's what I always try to do is like, I buy it every day. AMD, I'm buying every day. If I see it go down 5% tomorrow, I'm buying twice as much tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? Like if I'm only doing $5 a day to AMD, if it goes down 5% tomorrow, I'm buying $10 tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? That's what I tend to do is I'll buy more on days where it goes down, especially the stocks that I already want to buy. And especially if they're already like AMD, it's already priced good. You're not as worried about buying an AMD as maybe, like I said, Palantir. You really only want to buy Palantir when it's down. And it's just continued to go up. So good question. And this is the thing. This is why I wouldn't focus if you're just starting or you're just getting into it. Don't try to focus on 100 stocks. Focus on like your 5 favorites and get to know them and watch them. And you'll just know. You'll just be like, oh, I was watching Meta. And then we had the COVID. Remember when COVID happened and we had the big market crash? I picked up Meta for I think it was $100 a share back then. I went all in. And, I'm one of the things I'm going to caution everyone is I'm only a dog walker now, right? I'm just a dog walker. So I'm walking to into the house of the biggest customer I have, venture capitalists. They got the ocean, side house, just unbelievable. And he's there. He's the venture capitalist. And I said, dude, did you see what the market did today? And he's like, yeah, he's got it on, he's got CNBC. It's in the morning. And I said, Meta, what do you think? He's like, dude, buy everything you have. And I was just like, done. Like I was already ready to do that. When he said that, I just bought I took everything I had and I just bought Meta that day. So that's what you do when you see that the stock is down that much, and it will happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen this week, next week, but that's what you do. You follow the stocks and you pick your favorite ones. And I just showed you some of the best stocks to follow. These are the ones. NVIDIA, Meta, Google. You can't go wrong with these stocks. They're not going to go out of business. Meta, YouTube is not going out of business for Google. Meta, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, they're just going to continue to grow, especially with AI right now. NVIDIA, a little more risky, but I think with this platform they have for AI and this new Blackwell launch, now the risk with them is they're back up again. And obviously they could slow down, especially with this Blackwell launch. It could be delayed. There could be delays, but NVIDIA usually over delivers, usually under, promises over delivers. So I would not be surprised to see later this month that we get some news like that and NVIDIA hits like new all-time highs. All right. I think I'm done tonight. I think you guys let me do this is fun. I like this. I want to know, did you guys enjoy this? Did you get anything out of it? Or was it like, oh man, stocks, I don't want to hear about this. You want to hear more about IBIT ETF, not as risky for crypto, right? I mean, it is, because it's basically Bitcoin. It's basically a mutual fund company is buying Bitcoin and selling you shares of it. That's basically what it is. So it's basically you're buying, IBIT is Bitcoin. It's basically just an ETF that only holds Bitcoin. So it's as risky as Bitcoin is, which I don't think Bitcoin is as risky anymore. It's already kind of stabilized. The question is, will it grow as much as it did? That's the question. Is it too expensive now? I don't think so. I think that's going to continue to grow. I think that they're going to continue to print dollars, devalue, and Bitcoin will go up because of that. So that's why I continue to buy IBIT. And I don't even want to do it because I feel like it's every time I'm like, I feel like I'm profiting over the misery of the world but it's not, the fault of Bitcoin even. It's not my fault. It's just the system that we're in demands that we create more money. That's the whole problem with the system that we have, the financial system. And that's why I think you buy these big companies, because they're going to continue to go up over it. And they're safe. And you need the growth. These are the best growth companies in the world. Glamour says she loved this, Mike. Which are you going to be buying any of these stocks, Glamour? I want to know which ones you guys like. You would like more of these shows? We'll do more, especially if I have like a true like wild card stock, like I had APP. I almost wanted to put that on the list, but it's gone so high. I'm selling it now. But I had App was just, oh man, it's so funny because when one of your stocks like lights up like App did, APP. It's App Loving is the company, but APP is the symbol. When that happens, you're just like, you get so excited, but at the same time, you're like, oh shit, I wish it, like, especially with this app, I was just like, I wish it happened like a year from now, because I was just buying every day buying it. And I had it went through the roof. It went like 400-500% up. But it's just like, oh, if I just had more. So when I find a company like that, I'll definitely do maybe a quick little show and let you all know. But for tonight, I just wanted to stick to like I said, the meat and potatoes, the ones you really should be following and buying. And this is it right here, the number one. Meta, I'd say Meta and Google are the ones that if you want to be safe, but you still want that growth, buy these top four. And now number 5 too, AMD. AMD is at a discount right now. Yeah, you can start with $1 on Robinhood. That's how I started. Yep. Yeah, all you do is you can sign up. You can have an individual regular brokerage account on there. There's no fees. You can start with $1, a deposit of $1. You can buy a stock with $1. Buy AMD for $1 tonight. Yeah, and you could also do, if you want, you can do a Roth IRA or traditional IRA on there. I have all of them. I have so many accounts now. It's so funny. Yeah. And the nice thing about this tonight, too, with me putting these companies up, a lot of times you'll see these fly-by-night YouTube guys up there. They're promoting some, like, stock you've never heard of. And the reason they're doing that is because they already bought the stock, and they want you to buy it higher so that they could sell it to you. The stocks I'm picking, like AMD or Google, they can't be moved by a YouTuber. They are so big, especially someone like on my level. So there's no game here. There is no front running. I own them. I'm continuing to buy all these companies. There's no scam here. There's no pump and dump. You can't pump and dump Meta. I don't even think Soros could, because I mean, let's go back. Someone would have to pump and dump on Meta. What is Meta? Let's go back to this. Yeah, Meta is 1.5 trillion. Elon Musk couldn't even pump and dump on Meta. He's the richest man in the world. So that's another reason too. Like, I'm picking these stocks. I'm picking the best stocks that no one can manipulate. They're too big to manipulate. Yeah, you can invest for $1 on Robinhood. I also use Public. Public, you can invest $5 at a time, but Robinhood is $1. There are other places too that do $1. I think Fidelity probably does now. My broker sucks actually for my old Roth or IRA. They still don't do like dollar trades. You still have to buy whole shares. So it really depends on who you use, but that's why I love Robinhood. Robinhood is really the best for pricing and all that. No cost. Yeah, I think Robinhood. I think any of these brokers are going to ask for your social security number, correct? And I have a code too on Public if you want it. Maybe I don't know. I didn't even want to post it, but like if you put $1,000 in Public, I think you get like 10 or 20 bucks if you use my code or something like that. But I haven't thrown it in there. I could do that if anyone has interest. It's up to you. I think we each get like 10 or 20 bucks or something like that. It's such a small amount. I don't even think it's worth it, honestly. But those are the ones I use. Public and Robinhood, I think, are the easiest and funnest for new investors. There's a lot of information on there too. And if you're invested in these stocks like Meta or any of these stocks, you could see the earnings, how much money they're making, and even in the news stories. Never mind if you look at the reports, but you could see it's up 100% this year. It's up 48%. I could read some. Do I have the stats? I thought I had them down here. I must have left them upstairs. But I would read those stories when you're buying the stocks. It helps you keep track and start thinking about like how much the company's, what is the value of the company? Where could it be in a couple of years? And also how much money is it making? How much is it increasing? And how much is that money that is being brought in the revenue compared to their net worth, which is the PE ratio, basically. So these are like basic things you can start to get used to and look at, especially the market cap PE stuff. That's just like the easiest stuff to look at. But also revenue. Those are the real things I look at. Revenue. How much money is it bringing in? And is there any debt? That's what's so great about these companies like Meta. There's no debt. How much money they have in the bank? Meta has so much cash. Nvidia, no debt. Micron does have some debt. I'm not worried about it. They got a lot of free cash flow. Their growth is crazy, and they're a cyclical company. Like they're actually supposed to be down right now, but they're still growing amazingly. So imagine when things are going right for them. Google, again, no debt, tons of cash. That's why I buy these companies. Yeah, I love this. Plus a dividend. A lot of the companies I showed have dividends. Google even has a dividend now. Meta has a new dividend now for a while. Yeah, Microsoft obviously does. MU now has. Micron does. So a lot of these companies have so much cash, of course they're going to start adding dividends. Nvidia has like the tiniest, it's like a penny. It's not even really a dividend in my opinion because it's so little. Nvidia is really like one of the only companies on the list that I put up here that doesn't have a dividend. SoFi, they don't have a dividend. Coinbase does not. Microsoft does. Synapses, I don't think has a dividend. I could be wrong on that one. I could check on that. Salesforce, don't think they have a dividend. Qualcomm definitely does, a good dividend. NTAP has a dividend. AMAT has a dividend. Amazon does not. IBIT, that's a ETF. Usually they don't, sometimes. Palantir does not. So most of those I just listed are dividend stocks. And I just, that's the other thing like I loved about Apple. They had a good dividend. I just kept reinvesting and holding it for years. So I hope this was helpful. I enjoyed doing it. I think I'll get better at it as we go along. It's kind of a new thing for me to do a stock thing. I'm going to go back to my first slide. Again, remember, none of this is investment advice. This is for you to get more info, to, get educated, do your own research. But I don't think anyone could really go wrong with the stocks I picked. You know, especially the ones that I mentioned are the safest, like Google, Microsoft, Meta. The grandson is doing great. He's been eating all day. Yeah, he's I guess he got fed like 5, 6, 7 times today. He's hungry. Yes. Yeah, definitely. See, that's a good stock to own for years. Microsoft. Definitely, Denise. I'm glad it was interesting to you. Yeah, I know, right? A lot of tech stocks never did pay dividends. A lot of that's new, especially for Meta, Google. Microsoft's been doing it for a while, but yeah, for a lot of them, it's new. Micron's another one that's it's definitely new for. Oh, thank you. You're wearing my merch. Thank you so much. You invested in me. Oh, thank you. Oh, Glamis Suze is way into it. She's pulling SEC filings. Do you ever listen to those conference calls? I do that sometimes when I'm really bored. A lot of people spend all their time watching NFL football. I spend all my time on stocks. It's my like. I just love it. I don't know. It's just so funny. Yes, you can invest in the Robinhood stock. I don't know if that's the best one. I used to own it. I think I own a little bit now. I don't really buy it anymore. It could be good. I think with crypto, especially, that's probably why it's growing again. I think it's going back up, but I haven't really. I'm not an expert enough on Robinhood. I have too much on my plate. I like SoFi more than Robinhood an investment, but I just love Robinhood as a customer. You know, so I probably should own more Robinhood. But I don't know. I have a feeling it's probably overvalued. Maybe I should be looking at it. Like I said, I hold too many stocks, so I'm trying to like prioritize to the best ones because I found that that's how I've made the most money is the best ones, and now that's what I'm focusing on. The very best. And Robinhood no longer makes the cut, but maybe they will again. I'm not saying it's a bad investment. Could be good. They have some issues though in terms of profitability and. Maybe that's changed recently, but they did with the way that they were earning money in the past with the order flow and whether that would be legal and all that stuff. But if you like it, if you've done your research, then I see nothing wrong with buying it. I just haven't done enough due diligence on Robinhood yet, as of late. Back when I did it, I didn't like what I was seeing. Even though I had some, I still bought it. You know, it's so funny. Sometimes I'll know a company's not the best or shady, and I'll still buy it just in case. It's called the FOMO, fear of missing out. We all do that. All right, I think I'm done. Unless you have any more questions, I'm just going through. Oh, see, this is great. I love this. What do you think of IWM? See, I got to look this one up. Like, what is IWM? Oh, this is a Russell 2000 ETF. I mean, it's not bad. It probably have some pretty good growth. It's 2,000 stocks. You're basically buying 2,000 stocks. It's an index fund that buys 2,000 stocks. I think the problem with something like that, it's a little too safe, actually. I mean, stocks are never too safe, even in indexes. But I'm kind of contrarian. I used to be one of those persons that would sell a lot of mutual funds and a lot of 401k products where it would be ETFs and mutual funds. So it was in my interest in a lot of times when I worked at those companies to be all about the indexes and the ETFs. But over time, I've realized that I just think it's like a lot of times you could make more on your own. And especially if you have less holdings. And it doesn't mean to take on a lot of risk. You shouldn't never put all your money in one stock or one crypto. But you don't need 2,000. You know what I'm saying? And that's for me, probably my biggest mistake over the last couple of years is I probably have like 1,000 holdings when I should really just have like 50. You know what I mean? And the top 50 that I'm doing well on is what I should have just invested in. And they're the companies I'm showing you up here. They're the no-brainer companies. Like, why? This is the problem I think sometimes with stock investing. Sometimes we overthink it. And why hold 2,000 stocks? That kind of, I know it's safer, but do you need that much safety? Like, isn't the idea to take a little risk so you get the return? So that's why I probably wouldn't invest in something like that. And I think it's even like, for me, I'm focusing on like the top 5 to 10, 20, like this list I just had. That's really what I'm buying. Like those, they could change. I could knock one out, put one in. I could, especially with some of the ones at the bottom, like the Palantir. I don't know if I'm going to buy any more Palantir, actually. It's kind of starting to go up again. It's like, it's one I'll watch. But I'm really trying to focus on like the top 5, 10 stocks. And like those top 5, AMD, MU, Meta, Google, NVIDIA. That's where you're going to get the crazy returns. Yeah, this is it. I think that's it. You want some diversification, but not a shotgun investment strategy. And even with what I'm showing too, is not that diversified because it's mostly tech. But I think that's where the bang for your buck is. And I think that we can no longer put money in Coca-Cola and be happy with a 5 to 10% return, with the cost of living. We need 25, 30% return to get ahead now, just because of the cost of living. So that's why I think tech is the way to go. And I think the easy money is here. It's not going away. Yes, is Yahoo Finance. I look at it every friggin' day. And I also look at the apps too, like, Robinhood has info, Public has info, my other broker has info. So I look at those news stories, but I look at Yahoo all the time for news stories, the finance section, as well as the charts they have. So yeah, Yahoo is definitely a good place to look for info. I love AMD, and I do too. And I think it's right now is the best time to buy it. I made a mistake a few years ago buying AMD, made a killing and sold it, and then watched it continue to go up. I went through the roof. Never again. Never again. That's for me. Like, until I need to sell, I'm one of these people that will be buying AMD every day until it gets too high, and then I'll just stop buying and just hold it for a while because I still think it's going to go up. So I think AMD is going way up. I do. I love AMD. Big investor of it now. And that's my whole thing. Buy the best stocks. Buy the best. If you're going to buy a chip company, microchip, silicon, there's hundreds of companies you could buy. Buy the best ones. AMD, NVIDIA, MU. Buy those. AMAT. Those are the best ones. Buy them. That's what the last 5 years have proven, big time. All right. Please pass the pepper. I just mailed out some stickers over to you. You should be getting those. I just made a big mailing today to some members that requested the Young Jerks bumper stickers, and you should be getting yours very soon. I mailed them out this morning at the post office. Thank you so much for the super chats tonight. Really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone who's been watching. And I hope you get something out of this. Like I said, this is an investment advice, but this is what I am actually investing in. It's funny, the kid said to me, we're doing Yahoo fantasy football. And I guess he was bragging to his wife that fantasy football, our league was too easy because he kept winning. It was too easy to win. He felt bad on it. And I kept losing. I get so frustrated. But then I just thought, I get what he's saying, though, because that's the way I feel with my stock picks. Who knows if that will continue? But the last few years, that's what it feels like. It's like, man, this is too easy. And it's like the easy part is that you figure out that it's just the companies you think that are going to do well, the big companies, the obvious ones. Meta, NVIDIA, MU, Micron Technology. This is a smaller one. It's only 100. Micron's basically a small cap in this one at $100 billion. That's like one of the riskier ones, but it's going to go up. Google, 2.3 trillion. I still think it's going to go up. It'll go up to 5 trillion. You watch. AMD, only at 200 billion. That's another small one. I'd say that's going to 1 trillion. I think that AMD will 5 times in a few years from now. Those 5 companies, I don't think you can go wrong. But like I said, do your own do your own research on your investments. I'm a big fan of that. Bumper or bumper stickers or burner stickers. You'll be getting them. You'll be definitely getting your stickers. I just mail them all out. Actually, there's a few. There's one from the UK that got held up, and another one to Ireland that I forgot to put Ireland down. I didn't know what country it was when I was at the post office. So those are going out, and then I got some other late requests. So there's a few more actually going out, but I got so many of them out. There was like a stack of them. There was like, I think it was like 30 of them, all over the country: Florida, California, Arizona, Tennessee, obviously Massachusetts, Rhode Island. And then UK, where else? Ireland, Canada. It's unbelievable how many people watch this show. I thank you so much for supporting and watching. And I hope you got something back tonight. I hope it helps people make a little money. Don't go for the crazy stuff like when your uncle tells you, oh, buy this company no one's ever heard of, and you look it up and it's got no revenue. It's only worth $50 million or something. And all they got is a hope and a promise, that's not the company to buy. Buy a company like AMD. It's already doing it. The stock is down. It's going to come back up. Oh, see, I love it. Sherry did say, I now own $2 at AMD. Oh, I love it. That is so great. I love it. Now what you got to do is you got to set your recurring investment every day. Buy $1 of it. Buy $1 every day. You'll thank me later. I love it. I want to help you guys. I love helping. You ever see the movie, what was that? Breaking Silver or something like that with Kevin Bacon? He was riding the bicycle. He's a stock trader. Then he quit and then he made all his people money. I can't remember what that was called. It was so funny. That's what it feels like for me. I like to share my knowledge with you. All right, let's make some money this year. Honestly, let's make money. And again, if you have any questions, you can hit me up. You know how to reach me: Facebook, YouTube, Facebook or Twitter at the Young Jerks. Hit me up. Is Robinhood an app or a website? I believe it's a website too, but it's an app. I use the Robinhood app. I believe they have a website as well. Probably robinhood.com. I'm not even sure. I have logged on the computer too, but mostly I do everything on the phone. All right. Thank you. I want to thank our moderators, Stephanie, Jen. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Sarah as well. And MJ, thank you. Thank you, ladies, for moderating our chat tonight. Yeah, and Public is an app too. I use both of those. Oh, you like Charlie? Yeah, Charlie. Where is Charlie? He's being too quiet now. Now I'm worried. Oh, I gotta go. Charlie might have gotten into some trouble. Oh, Meredith is coming up. All right, I should wrap it up then. It's my cue. How long have I been live? This is perfect, actually. This was not a long show, like an hour and 10 minutes. I love it. All right, so I'm gonna go watch Meredith as well. I'm not sure when my next show will be, but trust me, we got a lot planned. I'm trying to take it a little slow because we got a baby, a new baby in the family. I'm a granddaddy now, a step granddaddy. So I'm trying to slow it down, but there will be a lot of guests in the show. I've got plans. I've already talking to people. I got something booked big. It looks like January 15th that I announced to the members the other night. I'll have more details on that soon as well. Yeah, we're going to have a lot more shows. And Tuesday's going to be big because Karen Reed is back in court. And you can see the prosecution is trying to exclude all her expert witnesses, which is a bunch of BS. And I think it's backfiring because people are seeing how corrupt they are already. Like just to push back, like what Bettero's been posting about. It's ridiculous. They're just wasting the court's time. They're wasting Karen's time. And they're hoping that Bev will be stupid enough to go along with what they're asking for. I don't think she will. But it just shows you Hank Brennan. You know, he said he was going to follow the evidence. He's not following the evidence. He's pretending he knows what the evidence is without actually looking at the evidence. He's trying to exclude the evidence. So I think that's going to blow up in their face. Tuesday morning, we'll be covering it. Everyone, I'm sure, will be streaming it. I'll be streaming it. Check it out on the Young Jerks Tuesday morning. I think it's 9 a.m. There's also Robert Devine hearing that day, too, at about 9:30. I'm going to try to record that if I can. And on Tuesday night, there's a Canton Select Board hearing. I'll be broadcasting that as well. Tomorrow night, Sunday night, I'm going to be live on LTL with Mazza Media. Check that out, LTL Media with Brian. I'm looking forward to that. Tomorrow night, we'll be talking all about the Karen Reed stuff. And then later on this week, I'm going to try to do a show on Karen Reed as well. Maybe Thursday. Maybe hit up Bettero. We'll see. Or Maz or a few other people. But like I said, we have a lot planned for this year. So I'm looking forward to it. And this was fun to do. Like the first show of the year is we're doing something different, stocks, and having you all here. I really appreciate it. I hope you get something out of it. I hope in a few months we talk to each other and you say, you know what? I made a lot of money on those stocks. Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you next time. Make sure you like and subscribe on the way out if you haven't. Very much appreciated. Have a great rest of your weekend.